Okay, so we're going to continue with yesterday's session. I haven't really given much thought to the session that we were part of yesterday. I'm still going forth and back with the previous session. So my mind was on it, but I will not discuss it. I'll do it separately. Okay, we will continue so that I can regroup my thoughts. I'll ask the pendulum what it wants to say. We'll see what it says, what it addresses, and we'll just take it forward from there. Okay, now to time it, it is 10:54. It is pretty precise, Thursday. It is the 26th of June 2025, which means Saturn, Jupiter, and Mercury, which is not bad. So it's an okay day. It's fine. I'll go with the pendulum first. Should be more clear. Calling Bezos's name and playing beeper is not good. That's just you being cheap. Okay. Can we go ahead with the session? Are you with me? File name cat. Are you with me? File name cat. Should we continue on the Mr. and Mrs. Bezos topic? Okay, Mr. Bezos or whoever's answering for him has a problem moving the pendulum. You said yesterday he's still struggling with trying to get the pendulum to move. Are they in a better, happier energy right now? I made a mistake yesterday. It is not abracadabra because I had read it in passing ages ago. I think in 2021, 22 sometime. It's kadabra, not abracadabra. Abracadabra is there, but I think he was thinking about kadabra and then he decided no to go ahead with Amazon as an organization. So apologize for that because it's not intentional. Now, I also realized that in asking about Mr. Bezos, I was calling her Mrs. Scott McKinsey, but that's her marriage, not her marriage, that's her maiden name from before she got married, right? That's her name before she married. So, I don't know whether I should rehash this. Okay, so Kadabra, which was then known as Amazon.com, the founder of that company, Mr. Jeff Bezos, married to Scott McKinsey. That man is still in his human form today. Okay, Scott McKinsey, who was married to the founder of Amazon, known initially wanting to call it Kadabra, that lady is in her human form today. Mr. and Mrs. Bezos of Cadabra, which was then actually put down for the public as Amazon, they were legally married to each other and friends. I don't know, but legally married to each other. They married before Amazon became a huge success. So can we say whatever the roles played by each of them, Amazon built to a humongous level of success with their joint effort, whether her as a wife or as a contributor to the business, doesn't matter, but joint effort, because I do believe the two of them were pretty good friends. That they had a really good relationship between the two of them, a good understanding and a fair one, which also contributed to a good business building. And I think, yeah, so okay, so I've got that on record correctly. That's great. Okay, because yesterday we were all struggling to get to this point. Okay, now do you want me just to do a Scrabble throw, because we've already identified the timeline, at least in and around the timeline. I do want to ask you one thing. It crossed my mind, is it any of the 9 boys who contribute to SKF on the I got the Salman Khan, the original Salim and Salma Khan's son, Salman Khan? He was murdered in 2009, on the back of which SKF was started. It has 9 shapeshifters. Any one of those boys is your murderer. Did any one of those 9 boys murder you? Scott McKinsey, wife of Mr. Bezos, Mr. Jeff Bezos. Did one of the 9 of them murder you? He's a habitual offender. There's one boy who plays Salman Khan. He has one eye, affected, and the other one open. I've seen that this boy, or similar to that eye structure, is somebody who is also at or shapeshifting for Mr. Bezos, Mr. Jeff Bezos. Is that the man who raped you and murdered you? Are you sure he's the man who raped you and murdered you? Is he who you call OB or SC or ST? Did this boy work in my home? I don't know if it was for some months or for about a year or 2. But that is the time I had 3 locks on my door, and my bedroom has grills which you can't really cut. That was sometime in 2006, 2007, 2008. And I used to wake up only at around 1 in the afternoon, 12 in the afternoon. This boy used to come to clean at around 7:30, 7:45 and leave by 9, 9:30. So at that point in time, I think my room also used to gas and I used to go into very deep sleep. More so at 6 in the morning. My sleep used to go very deep, almost automatically at 6 in the morning, but I had 3 locks on my door and I used to close it with the 3 locks on the inside of my bedroom. This strange phenomenon had started 2000 and I think 5, 6, 7, 8. And then went out of hand, I think even 2011, because the whole room used to get foggy. And I used to wonder if I'm imagining it or is it actually a problem. So it is that same boy. So that boy is Larka. Rajkumar is his younger brother. But on Larka's identity, there are many boys who have shapeshifted in that one position. He actually takes the garbage and cleans toilets. in most places. Then he became a cleaner in offices also. It is his network that needs to be checked in Bombay. They are shape-shifting. This boy has shape-shifted for my mother's brother. You have to confirm it because I don't want to insult my mother's brother, but my mother's brother was doing pretty well for himself in the 70s. He was working in a shipping company or what, I don't know, or a fishery or what, I'm not sure. I'm really not sure, but it is saying that he was murdered in 1985. Not sure where. He would have already bought his apartment at Maker Towers next to his mother and his sister Binu Rao, or then Binu Sadrangani. They were 3 flats of the Sadranganis that they had bought in Maker Towers between I and J block. Now that mama of mine, not Rajan mama, but Manjeet mama, my reading is saying he was murdered in 1985. Is it true? Anyway, even whoever replaced him, we hardly met him, but every once in a while we meet him. He's a good guy. But a strange thing happened in 2013-14. The man who visited Cricket Club of India all-rounder for dinner. Aarti Nanthur's mother also was strange in her behavior. I will not say why, but Mr. Manjeet Sadrangani, one eye small and the other one big, was also weird in his behavior. He had never behaved so weirdly in his life ever before, and he was insulting on purpose. Directed to me, the lady who was being Neena Nanthur was insulting towards Aarti Arta, who is the only daughter of Arun and Neena Nanthur. So both incidents happened on the same night that the dinner was hosted at the Cricket Club of India all-rounder. It was 2013 or 2014. But it is too late because I have known Manjeet Mama since, I think, infancy. May not be always around him, but whenever we've actually regrouped, he's a very pleasant, good man. Suddenly, what happened to him in 2013-14 is questionable. It just comes to my mind. He also had one eye a problem, the other one okay, but then they sold all of lots of assets in Lagos, Nigeria, bought something in London, bought something in Jolly Maker in Cuff Parade, selling Manjeet Sadrangani's 1 BHK apartment in Maker Towers, buying a 3 BHK at Jolly Maker. But Jolly Maker had a fire also. So is this version of Manjeet Sadrangani with one eye small and another one okay the same problematic person who has shapeshifted for Bezos, shapeshifted for Salman Khan, and has worked with his own face, or then CRISPR'd himself to Ladka's face? Is there connect in this situation is what I'm trying to understand. It starts sometime in 2005, I think. 5-6. And then the eyes become okay in some time because I myself am not around. So next when I see the boy after a few months or after a year or something of that sort, his eyes are okay. So this boy has passed through my home in passing. He's the miscreant. Taylor knows him. Rajan Taylor knows him. Mr. Manjeet Sadrangani's daughter, real daughter called Shaira Sadrangani. It is saying that she was murdered in 1996 And she had visited Forge as well at that time. That's the time when I was in QUT, Queensland University of Technology. And it is shown in my dream where I'm shown that she was murdered, and the murderer did not inform her parents whether the father was the original or a duplicate, nor her mom, who was still alive, and her brother. Her brother is still alive. So Shaira was murdered. I'll have to check, just 1 minute. Last time I checked the pendulum, Shaira was murdered in and around 1996 behind my back, when four Jaswell's bedrooms were one after the other at the end of the house, not divided in three corners of the house. Is it because these miscreants had already entered the society of number of Jaswell building? It was on the back of pretending to be OB, ST, SC. Is this crowd genuinely OB, ST, SC? Did they use it as an excuse or a hideout place to create confusion in the Indian parliament or the Indian government or the Indian society? They're the reason for the stealing of the Queen Anne's silver bowl from my home. First time that Jaswell ever, as a cooperative housing society, ever faced such a big stealing. And my neighbor also were, industrialist quality, primarily because they're in the food and beverages industry, and I think in, I don't know, what do you call it, smoking industry, or cigarette, not cigarette, some kind of cigarette industry. But they're from Nasik, so they don't really hang around India. They don't really hang around Bombay so much, at least in those days. They stole gold from their house also, and I'm assuming that the original people were very much alive at that time, because almost immediately they got the police involved, retrieved the gold, and had the guy who was caught for stealing put up in a lockup. That happened, I think, in 97, 98, in and around that time. But then, if they did this with this kind of crowd, I don't think they would have spared the family. They're called the Chandoks, and we used to call them Cock Brand, because that's the brand of their cigarette. And they're Panchvati Gaurav owners. They had a Panchvati hotel even before, in the 70s itself, in Nasik. So, being good neighbors, they, when we go to Shirdi, they ask us to drop in. So once we had done that, and they're taken us to Triambakesh also. So they're good people from the 70s. Point is, have people in their family been replaced by this useless crowd? Have they murdered people in the Chandok family, my neighbors? The door is bang opposite my, what used to be my home. It's been sold now to Solanki. But had they murdered anybody in that setup? Because those guys are very big, without looking very big. They're very, level-headed people. But they were our neighbors through the, I think, 50s, 60s, 70s. Now they got staff living over there, connected with the restaurant. They got some manager and whatever staff living in the Cock Brand house. The people who own Cock Brand and own Panchvati Gaurav, they, if at all, they go and stay in Churchgate. But how many of them are alive is the big question, because these guys, Are there many people from the Chandok family who have been murdered and replaced? I don't know the family very well, so how does one address it? The young boy who was staying opposite my home, and because of him, he had all his very, very flashy big cars blocking our compound. The youngster was going to HR college, I think, a very decent boy. But he was living alone in the paying guest, whatever, not paying guest, what is it called? He was living alone in their, what they call, like just because they were successful from that home, they don't sell it. So he was living over there. That boy is still in his human form. He's their genuine relative. The boy who was staying in this apartment opposite mine at Jaswell, for Jaswell, he's his genuine relative. He's Cockbrand's genuine relative. Did he win a case for the brand name Panchvati and somebody else wanting to grab that name? Did he win some case or take somebody to court regarding the name Panchvati Gaurav or something of that sort? Did he win the case or did he take somebody to court? So he can be counted as a miscreant? Would you call him a villain? Would you call him a victim? Would you call the youngster who I thought was very decent, would you call him a villain? The youngster, yes, living at Chandok's apartment at Jaswell building. You call him a villain? Anyway, when it comes to the Nasik family of the Chandoks, the original people, including the elderly, there used to be an elderly man, and they're a very conservative, nice family. You say people in their family were murdered? You say their family has already been infiltrated by duplicates? They need to do the due diligence to figure out who's who. Gene unediting will do the job. A forensics on the DNA and the genes and the genealogy will do the job. Which means, but do they know how to track the genes and unedit it? Is anybody in India who can do the study? Will they be successful in finding where the problem is at or where the editing happened at? If they do the forensics and the unediting of the genes of that family, will they be able to mark it? Or do they need foreigners or Americans or do they need foreign people to come and do the job? Can they manage it within, okay, they don't need foreigners. They can manage it within India itself, which is a safer option actually. They can get it sorted out within India itself on gene unediting and forensics, backtracking it to see where the edits happened. That marine lines, the entire thing got corroded by the miscreants. That means marine lines got corroded when? Did marine lines get corroded as early as the early 90s? Did marine lines get corroded even earlier to the 90s? Did marine lines get corroded in 1996? Did marine lines get corroded in 1997, 1998, 1999, 2000, 2001, 2002, 2003, 2004, 2005? Marine lines got corroded in 2005. You're saying Mr. Doval's being pulled to find Dawn is the reason for it? No, but if Mr. Kiran Merchant was pulled underground in the year 2000 and the duplicate Mr. Kiran Merchant, who's supposed to be a Pakistani spy, was out in his place, then wouldn't he have started corroding marine lines from the very beginning? Do you hold responsible Bertila and her friends from Regina Pashas working in different homes on marine lines, Liberty Cinema being one home where some 2-3 girls were working, my home where Bertila was working, and one girl apparently close to the market? Do you hold them responsible for the corrosion? Do you call them victims in some way? You put them in the victim category. After all, they're from the same, they also connected with the Catholic Christian Church. Do you call them victims? Do you call them supporters of the villain? These girls have crossed paths with the boy whose one eye is a problem and the other one is okay, who it has been identified has shapeshifted for Mr. Jeff Bezos, has shapeshifted for Mr. Salman Khan, has shapeshifted working to clean my home part-time in the morning. The boy is called Ladka, simply because the name is difficult and, well, don't know why he's just called Ladka, which means boy, because for whatever reason he's the only person who's been called boy. Otherwise the boys are called bhaiya. When they work in our home, they are bhaiyos. Sindhi bhaiyos who come, work, cook, and they stay also. They got their own baradari. They're good people. But this is the only person so far we have never called him by his name. We call him Ladka, which means boy, which is a very generic term, which has, maybe that's the reason, because there are too many rotations in that one identity. And so boy is the only name, or Ladka, because too many people have shapeshifted in and out of that one identity over 15 years. So Bertila and her, whoever her people were who were working with her from Regina Pashas, they have crossed paths with this boy. Would you call Bertila, the 2-3 girls who have worked at Liberty Cinema owner's apartment, the entire floor, 1 floor, 2 floors, huge apartment, a Parsi gentleman, I think, and whoever was working at the Marine Lines market or close to it for another family there, would you call them only supporters to the villain, or would you call them villain? Would you call the 4 girls villains themselves? How do we define the villain? They know exactly what they're doing. They do it with the purpose of causing destruction to somebody else. They do it with the purpose of doing illegal activity, and they're willfully doing that because on the back of it they get some benefits. That's how we define the villain. And it involves leading to murder, lies, grabbing, stealing assets that are not theirs, and causing great distress for the original family from whom they misbehave and grab. Not to mention on the back of murder of somebody amongst them and reputation amongst them. Also, these guys have been shapeshifting in and out of different homes and institutions. That's how the villain is defined. So would Bhartila, last that she was here was Gautam E and Pabitra also connected with Bhartila? The three boys who rerouted the router, walking on the floor like Akhil Gupta, who's been dead since 1995. And two more people who rerouted the router. Were they called in by the Pakistani spies? Spread 19th floor, 17th floor, 18th floor and 16th floor of Purva Palm Beach Chuara Tower. They've already been mentioned who they are. So the rerouting of the routers so that they can pass cheap comments around my home and play bells and enjoy Eid in the cheap manner from the cheap shithole they come from. Bardila serves them. Gautam E serves them. Pavitra serves them. Calls Kiran Merchant uncle. Is he the Sant Kiran Merchant that my mother legally got married to, becoming ex-Mrs. Anita Advani and then getting married to Mr. Kiran Merchant? Is he the same man my mother got married to in her second marriage in the 80s itself? Met him through the Satya Sai Baba organization during the late 70s. Is he the same man? Is the man called Kiran Merchant today actually a Pakistani spy and has been operating in India with Kiran Merchant's identity since the year 2000? Is it true? So all my great surrounders, bolte hai ghirav. Ghirav means siege. You don't forget, you may be 50%, but there are other people also living in this building, your neighbors. They are not you. तो equal है ना? तुम लोग कितना लोग है? I'm just a normal citizen. That's it. I don't know why I got stuck in all this nonsense. हमारा खुद का फैमिली देखो क्या मैसेकर है. It's so sickening. That also, these are not even my family friends. Not even my father's cousins. This is only my mother, father and her siblings, their siblings. I'm saying, who hates my mother, father so much कि तुमको इतना कुछ करना पड़ा है? तुमने हमारा school friends को नहीं छोड़ा है? School and college friends you have gone and affected? What's wrong with you? Now you understand, for every drop of your blood, we will drop your tears. Kashmir issue at coronavirus time. When who? Markaz is coming on the TV. जो वो करता है ऐसा करता रहता है ऐसा करता रहता है, that is Saudi. What you are doing on my TV talking about coronavirus and WHO? I don't understand. You are pretending to be Indian official talking on India's behalf via Indian government. You are doing this, but nobody over here does this. That Saudi does. Now recently when you people have gone to Saudi, I don't want to say it because there's a lady in a full hijab over there, for heaven's sake. She's the hostess. She's standing with her husband. You have taken the Bombay cheap style over there. You are touching your belt when you are meeting her. What you are gesticulating? That you do in Bombay. You are flashing all the time in Bombay. तो बॉम्बे का टपोरी गया है सऊदी. मार्क ज़करबर्ग, क्या मार्क ज़करबर्ग with Mr. Bezos Sanchez is in the middle. She's an editor, Washington Post. You are supposed to be homegrown in America. You're looking at what? Like you have never seen anything. Seems like it is from Middle East. Not able to see anything, then suddenly coming to America. Then everything can't just control the eye movement. A person who is generationally homegrown America chooses to marry China for his own reasons. Now is going to be looking at Sanchez. Come on. It is possible Mark Zuckerberg got married to China because he's seen more than enough, man. He's looking for much more. That's because he's born and brought up in America or wherever. Hey, there's plenty of exposure. Why you didn't live up to it? So I am telling you, 420 business, whoever's gone to Saudi this time, Saudi better be careful because they have unscrewed you completely. Those few days was enough. Mark Zuckerberg was missing, Elon Musk was missing, Bezos was missing. The only guy over there was Nvidia and Donald Trump. Donald Trump for sure is being shapeshifted for. I am seeing Kiran Merchant's face over there, except that I am being told it's not Kiran Merchant. Kiran Merchant married to my mom in the 80s. This guy is the shapeshifter. When Errol has come to India, these guys also came here. They messed my apartment up 2 nights. Come into my living room. I'm saying, Arey, but yesterday it was looking clean. Now morning suddenly why it's looking messy. They went screwed around with my food also. Now you see what my problems are on my hands. This is their work. All this had cleared up. Also what they do on my flooring, all this had cleared up. What they do on my flooring, they go and put something, they go and break my tile and they make holes in the tile. Yes, now I'll show you how many more have come up. First you did one only, then screws mein tum, in the screws, in the doorways you're screwing around. In my flooring you are one little dot and leaving stupid things around my house which is making noise in my house when I'm moving around my apartment. Don't think I don't know what you are doing. You stole my fuse box. That ladka's brother Rajkumar is signing on my demand draft at Kotak Bank. How? Anyway, I'm not going to now lose my temper because this is not the topic, but since it is related, we have to establish it. Anyway, carrying with the Mr. and Mrs. Bezos topic, since we have established key things, would you like to talk through a Scrabble throw? Because over there you don't need to exert on the pendulum and I can then try to decipher whatever you wish to say. So we'll do a first throw. Perhaps as we get into it, we can get more downloads and we will just, I've been told by 31st of July 2025 is when I will actually get into this more deeply, from Florida all the way to through Washington DC and New York, Manhattan, all the way passing Boston, all the way to Maine, up in the north on the eastern coast. So we will just go with, a warmer, which is the Scrabble throw. Okay. So before we do the throw and we get extra caught up, with our own emotions, and which we shouldn't be, we should be more detached and be a little balanced in our ways. be better for everybody. So I'm just thinking first we will just take blessings of Shirdi Sai Baba and then move ahead. Okay, so starting with Ganesh ji. Ganesh ji, please bless the reading so we get the appropriate information. Then Shirdi Sai Baba, please bless the reading so we get the appropriate information. Also bless all of us. Then Shani ji, please bless the whole situation so that the wrongs can be addressed appropriately and the rights can be given back their own rights. Then we take the blessings of Shivji, Parvati Mata and Kartikeya. We go on to take the blessings of Lord Vishnu, Lord Ram and Lord Krishna. Then we take the blessings of Gaumata, in whom all the gods reside, and ask them to bless us and the reading. Again, so that the wrongs can be addressed appropriately to make it right, and the rights of the right can be given back to them. Yes, 3D also, 5D also, 12D also, across the universe, if that can be achieved. एक चीज तो बोलना है. One thing I must say, I was laughing actually outside of the reading. Before the reading had started, not only was I laughing, the pendulum also seemed to be laughing. Because what was established in 2017 is what? Everything you grab but didn't earn yourself, thinking you are too smart. What is the payback of the Rin and the Ripu and the loans taken by you? 6 billion raised to the power of 6 billion, or then 3 billion raised to the power of 3 billion, if both Shah Rukh Khan and Salman Khan both were involved. But Salman Khan was removed before only. Who's left is SRK. Then everybody who did this kind of stuff in these camps and then spread it, whether it is 3 billion raised to the power of 3 billion, and that also of the highest net worth that you earned, grabbing, making it your own, misappropriating other people's wealth, you have to pay back that highest net worth or whatever you have messed around with, 3 billion raised to the power of 3 billion times more, or 6 billion raised to the power of 6 billion times more. So you count it yourself. अगर इसको एक महाप्रलय or a great grand, don't know what to say, great grand ancestry of the महाप्रलय नहीं है तो नहीं, क्या हो सकता है? You know exactly how cleverly you've gone and affected who. What is that total net worth? Now that net worth which you went and affected in such a strange, cheap manner, that is only the base value, which becomes the Athanni Chavanni, but for yourself it becomes karoro ka nuksan. If you look at it from that viewpoint, that is why the pendulum also actually was laughing, because it was established that how you have functioned, where all you have grabbed, ultimately is no less than a Mahapralaya when it comes to your Atma and Atmic journey going forward. बोलते हैं 40% of world population today who indulged in it. अब अगर तू नर्क जा रहा है, वॉश आउट फॉर हाउ लॉन्ग? ओ महाप्रलय बराबर. That's it. Tata, goodbye, never see you ever again. That's all. Okay, so now going ahead with Mr. and Mrs. Bezos, their topic. We'll see what the Scrabble throws, and then we will see. So please guide Shirdi Sai Baba, Shani ji, Ganesh ji, whatever needs to be said. So this is what we've got so far. We'll put it out. X N Annie IR AI or Rani. Okani, NDA, or RK. This is what we got in reply. Connected with the Bezos setup. This is going back to University of Ekato. Everybody who's a student at University of Ekato 2011 and 12. Was there a boy called Liam? Christy's friend. Christy's a photographer. Staying in the same cottage as me in the first semester. She was there only till the first semester. She's from Hong Kong. A very sweet girl. Liam is her friend. Other than Liam, is there a Vietnamese boy? And one more girl, I've forgotten her name. Yuka is the Japanese girl. Trang is the Vietnamese girl yet once again. Trang is the one who says she has heard something about bad behavior towards parents on my back. And I'm still wondering, because those who complained to you are not really who they say they are. That process has started ever since, I think, 1996, or then full-fledged 2005. Rohika also was brought in. Rohika Chagla Mistri was also brought in for the same thing, and then her family was destroyed on the back of it. So was Shahpurji Palunji. Cyrus Mistri's family also destroyed on the back of it. We lost one professor who gave me good marks at University of Waikato. Mr. Richard Vary decided to put me in a very cheap group that didn't do its job and dragged my grades down in the following semester. The dean of the management school says he has to follow the trail of money, and the money was coming from Saudi. I think that is enough proof. Also, Jen, who was from Canada staying in my cottage in the second semester, very, very nice girl, was having problems during her exam times retrieving her laptop. And her laptop, which was supposed to be given back to her pretty soon, took more than, I think, a week or 10 days for her to get it back. She had already done 1-2 trips to the shop, yet they were not giving her laptop back. The same thing happened when my professor, a very, very nice professor and very qualified, she's I showed you her also. She did brand management with me, along with making it a really good project. She took 2 units and really filled it with lots of learning, taking the market research and then combining it with brand management strategy, also adding, let's just say, statistics to it or testing of the hypothesis. But in her office also, when she had to do the last most important component, the last or the second last class that I had with her, she also had a problem with her computer. She had to make 3 calls to find why her computer has not yet been set by the technology center in the management school. That's when she has to teach me the final proving of the hypothesis, on the back of which I'm given about, I think, another week or 10 days or 2 weeks to hand in the final report. She also faced the same, Dr. Carolyn Costley. She also faced the same problem. So don't tell me we weren't in bad company. Mr. Bezos is an American. He will not have these problems. Even if he's not, he's grown in America. You got me to move cottages in between, which didn't happen with anybody else, under the guise of refurbishment. You were doing things on purpose because of what you heard. That whole 1 year that I spent at University of Waikato was based on what rumors you'd heard. Mary Fitzgerald, whatever her name is, retail management teacher, who talks about palm having the chip and so you can swipe 11-12. She's already talking about inbuilt nanotechnology into the human being for human connected with technology for financial reasons. She's talking about the word of mouth. So she understands it. Okay, now that's not the problem. Liam is a boy, even though this is not spelled as Liam. This is L-A-W. But if we turn it around, it's Liam. That means the boy Liam was affected. This boy was affected when he was in New Zealand. This is supposed to be about Mr. Bezos, but since we are probably warming up to the topic, this is going to the University of Waikato. Probably why Mr. Bezos was SOS and brought in as the accommodation manager, because we did get that Mr. Bezos, J. Bezos, had been SOS'd in some previous read. So we start with this. We will start with this and take it from there onwards. It is the fault of the NDA. But NDA, whether it is the BJP, whether it is the Congress, whether it is the IG, whether it is the DGP, whether it is the ED, whether it is the ATS, if SL wears the ED's ET, has biometricked his eyes to RSS members and to somebody in the ATS, or many in the ATS, we don't know, then the information flow to this or hiding behind this is how good. This process is started 2000, but as the pendulum itself established, marine lines became a hub for all nefarious activity, blown out of proportion 2005 onwards. That is when most people would have been done away with. And since the miscreants were hiding at the bottom of the pyramid, you wouldn't have known where to look. Not to mention they were wearing the ETs. Shape-shifting galore. That created the confusion. Okay, but since now you know, okay. We go ahead and take this. This is about, we take NDA. Let's see what its role is. My surname is Advani, ADVANI. As I said, Ani means fish eggs, which means the children. Kani is my father's name, or Kanayalal Hukumatrai Advani. Advani is my family name. RK, I don't know if Nikhil Advani or Nick Nixie Nickel, one of them. So let's just go Advani. Nikhil Advani is my cousin brother. He's the only Advani boy. The rest of us are girls who would have gotten married to other families. That's if you didn't screw around the way you did. Which you did. Because you're just cheap. Never met more shittier shit than you people. Garbage means don't even want to get into it. Nikhil is spelt as Nikhil, which means this is a shapeshifter for my cousin Nikhil Advani. He's not the original. He's the only Mr. Hukumatrai Advani's only grandson who would have been an Advani to take the Advani name forward. For him we have Nick Nixie Nickel. I believe one of them is shapeshifting at RK as Ranbir Kapoor. Ranbir Kapoor is of a different quality altogether, like his father Rishi Kapoor. Ranbir Kapoor and the real Kareena were said to be held underground at JNPT, Baman Dongri, on the other side of the Bombay-Pune Expressway at Panvel. He was alive 2-3 weeks ago, but then now recently when I checked, I got he's out of the body. When Errol visited India along with Kira, the Pakistani spy, with face of Kiran Merchant, and SL, they were in a panic mode. They got rid of many people who were mentioned in the read in that one trip. That's why he was here for 5 days. He was SOS'd by somebody who was scared they'll get caught up. Also, that JNPT is a military, it is supposed to be a military something underground. But the military itself is supposed to have 10% infiltrators, Indian military. The reason I have already given you. You can take it, you can leave it. If you know ultimately what it is, you take something in your hands to do. So it's okay if you die doing your job honestly. If you don't, you will have to join the miscreants. We are human, so we can make mistakes. There's no harm in accepting a mistake. You're not a politician. And politicians today, if they have gene edited themselves, they're actually from the Middle East. Then there's nothing over there. Your Murmu also, I got the identity via Scrabble, South African, just as Bertila, who's been called out to be a villain. So your president, your defense ministry, your home ministry, Mr. Yogi himself, Jaitley himself, who's alive but he declared himself dead. So you take your decisions, you know what is what. This read only is throwing light. So anyway, this is Nikhil Advani, son of Ramesh Advani. But this is not Nikhil, this is Nick. Nixie, Nick L. The real Nikhil Advani, I was told a couple of days ago, had been murdered while he was traveling. I can ask the pendulum, even though this is supposed to be Bezos's topic, but then Bezos frankly says that he was shape-shifting as the accommodation manager, SOS, through email. He's never there on the university grounds or at Orchard Park student accommodation for postgraduates or for graduates. He takes about 10 days to meet you, and you converse with him not on the phone but only via email. Then he will set an appointment and meet you when it is convenient to him. So Jeff Bezos' name is not here, but we will go whatever he wants to address. However it is, we put the question out. This is the answer. We still go ahead with it. We have to go through the process. I think 31st July 2025. We'll see how it goes. After all, even when it came to Cyrus Mistry, the throw connected with him was, I think, November 2024. But addressing the issue in more depth was May, June 2025. You took the name I am Liam and you started this strange sound. Don't play these stupid sounds in my home. You're not the real Liam because this is W, not M. You got so scared you took this off almost immediately. Eh? Okay, so 1 minute recording.